Tonight at 6, a Volusia County man is in custody after investigators say he stole from a store, opened fire on deputies, and then set his own house on fire during a standoff that lasted for hours.
This is crazy on top of crazy.
A deputy was grazed in the face by a bullet but is doing okay tonight. Good evening, I'm Greg Warman.
I'm Martha Sigalski. This was the scene from earlier today when investigators say Dempsey Hadley refused to come out even as his home was on fire. You can see the damage that fire caused. This is from Sky Witness 9. Deputies say this started as a robbery at a Wawa. It turned into a slow speed chase, a shootout, and then a long standoff at a home on White Horse Court in Deltona. Channel 9's Jeff Coolidge has been on the scene all day. And Jeff, deputies had a run-in with the suspect just as close as a few months ago.
And we learned that in July, he had been arrested after he was fleeing, eluding from a deputy over in the New Smyrna Beach area. He was stopped with stop sticks in that case, just like they tried to today. Sheriff Mike Chitwood could be seen talking to a handcuffed Dempsey Hadley moments after he was taken into custody.
The first thing he says to me is, call the president, he's going to pardon me for this. So that's where we're at.
And where it all started was just a couple of miles down the road at this Wawa on Howland Boulevard. Around 4:30 this morning, Hadley reportedly reached over the counter and stole cigarettes. When deputies arrived, Hadley drove at one of them and fled from another. And that was just the beginning.
I've seen a lot of crazy shit in 36 years. This was absolutely the craziest.
Stop sticks were deployed to stop Hadley. However, he was able to make it to his house at a slow speed.
When they go to approach, thank God they have their shield with them. And as they approach, he fires at them. This round right here, was up in front of my sergeant's face. My sergeant would have took a shot to the head.
Hadley barricaded himself in his truck and refused to come out. Deputies used their heavy equipment to push the truck into the garage.
Continue to try to negotiate with him. He starts to light fires in the garage.
The home on White Horse Court, as you can see, was engulfed with flames and thick, billowing smoke.
For probably 45 minutes, he's up on the second floor, going back and forth, coming out to the back porch, telling us that he's going to fight us, that he's not going to surrender. Eventually, the smoke really gets thick, and we're able to punch the porch, the studs that hold the porch up, out. He falls to the ground.
Back out live here now. The Volusia County Sheriff is no longer on scene. There were some family members at the home just a little while ago going through some things, but there's no electricity at the home because of the fire that destroyed it this morning. Now, as far as Hadley's son and a dog, they had to be rescued from the home during all of this chaos this morning. And Hadley's family told the Volusia County Sheriff, Mike Chitwood, that he had been acting erratic for at least the last 6 months. They're not exactly sure why. He had worked for the city of DeLand for 35 years, but he retired in 2020. Reporting live in Deltona.
Well, right now we are covering breaking news in Orange County. The State Fire Marshal's office is looking into what caused flames at this abandoned auto shop. You can see the damage from Drove 9. This is on University Boulevard, as Alexa mentioned, not far from Full Sail University and Forsyth. Channel 9's Sam Martello is live there now. And Sam, firefighters say part of the roof collapsed at this auto parts stop.
Yeah, Chris, part of the roof on the side of the building, they told us, did collapse. And right now, this is still a very active scene. Firefighters are actually actively spraying water on this building right now. You can take a look at that here. We haven't seen flames pop up recently, but we think they're doing this to control the hot spots of the building. Now, the call for the fire came in at around 2:30 this morning. And you can see in these photos, Orange County Fire Rescue posted on X how badly this abandoned auto shop was burning. And in the photos, you can see that fire just kind of completely engulf it. Fire Rescue says it's a 200 by 200 foot building, to give you an idea of the size of that building. Now, Fire Rescue, like I just mentioned, still actively dumping water on the building. A car did also catch on fire, but no injuries have been reported. Since this is still an active scene, law enforcement is asking people to avoid this area. If you're out hitting the road this morning, a portion of University Boulevard is shut down between Forsyth Road and Summerwalk Square, so you will need to avoid this portion of University Boulevard. And we did speak with a man who was nearby when the fire first started, and this is what he says he saw.
When I got here, the flames were probably 50, 60 feet in the air. It looked like an inferno. There were ashes flying all the way over across the street. It was pretty intense.
Yeah, and it's still an intense scene here right now. Firefighters again continuing to spray water through those busted out windows into the inside of that building. We don't know if any of the surrounding buildings were damaged in this fire, and we also don't know what the cause of this fire was. The state fire marshal has been called in to handle the rest of this investigation. So we're going to stay here on the scene this morning, and we are going to let you know if we hear any new updates about what the cause was or what happened exactly here this morning. But for now, live in Orange County, Sam Martello, Channel 9 Eyewitness News. After an intense standoff with law enforcement, James Savage, the man accused of kidnapping a Wildwood woman, has finally surrendered to the Marion County Sheriff's Office. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sam Martello. After more than 20 hours of a standoff with law enforcement, a man who had barricaded himself inside a home in the Villages has surrendered. Channel 9 Giovanni Diaz is live at the scene for us now. Gio, this was a long operation for deputies there.
Indeed, Sam, many of the deputies have been here since yesterday, and they are still here just to make sure that this community is safe. This all happening inside of that home. You see that garage door. That's where the man spent more than 20 hours barricading himself. And we also know now that the man had a gun. More than 20 hours of non-stop watch by law enforcement agents ended with an arrest. 54-year-old James Savage surrendered around 10:30 Saturday.
Our negotiations unit was speaking to him on the phone, and they were able to talk him out of the residence without incident.
It all started around 10 p.m. on Thursday when Wildwood police say a woman was taken against her will from a home on Hall Place. This video shows the moment when she was pulled by her hair and thrown to the ground. Police say the woman was his girlfriend. It was after that incident that Savage barricaded himself inside this home on Bellhaven Loop in the north portion of the Villages.
This house is the address that's listed on his driver's license. I'm not exactly sure about the property ownership, but he did have a connection to this house.
For the residents, the police activity takes away from the peace and quiet of their neighborhood.
We're not used to this, so it's nerve-wracking, you know. So we just want to have fun, but it's kind of hard.
James Savage was taken to the Marion County Jail, where he will face multiple charges, including possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. He is also expected to face charges by the Wildwood police, and this investigation will continue. Reporting in Marion County, I'm Giovanni Diaz, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Now, investigators in Osceola County are trying to piece together what led to a double homicide. It happened at this apartment complex near Kissimmee. Good afternoon, I'm Kirsten Delgado. From Drone 9, you can see here dozens of evidence markers at that scene. Each one could actually represent a shell casing left behind after that shooting. It happened just after midnight at an apartment complex on Marta Circle. Channel 9's Giovanni Diaz is live for us near that scene. And Gio, the people involved in this case actually knew each other.
Yes, Kirsten, that's what the sheriff's office told us earlier today. Now, that crime happened right here at this apartment complex. It's called Rapallo Luxury Apartments. Law enforcement officers just removed the crime scene tape that was blocking off part of the building just moments ago. And this complex is located on Centerville Boulevard, just off of West Osceola Parkway. Now, deputies here were at the scene after they received multiple calls for multiple gunshots fired. When they arrived here, they initially found 2 people shot. One of them died at the scene moments after he was shot. Deputies found them on the hallway of that building here on at the apartment complex. And the second person was taken to the hospital by first responders, and he died there. And as deputies were searching through this area here, they found a third person who was also shot.
We found another individual in the bushes who had a gunshot wound, and he's at the hospital, a person of interest in this case, and he's in our custody. Other than that, it's an isolated incident. They were known to each other, and the individuals that came here to engage in this altercation were not from this area.
And we also learned earlier today that one of the 3 people involved in this case and one of the ones who died actually lived in this apartment complex here. Investigators say he had just moved to this area not long ago. Now, the sheriff also pointed out that this was possibly a drug-related case, and right now there is no threat to this community.